talking about, we're starting to begin to get into the Yoga Sutras. Pretty soon we're going to get into the Yoga Sutras. We've been getting into what's called the philosophy of yoga. And the philosophy of yoga is based on history. Okay? About 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, that's how old yoga is, right? But what happened was, when yoga first started, it was only meant for the elite and the royalty, and only their sons, not their daughters, but their sons. Because yoga is so important, because it's sort of like the training of the mind. When you capture the training of the mind, when you actually capture the knowledge of yoga, and you have all of that knowledge and you put it into play, you are set up for success. And it is because of that that it was only allowed to be shown to 12-year-old boys who were of royalty or well-to-do. Right? It was not shown to girls at all. Women were forbade from actually knowing this philosophy, because it was set up to be something that you can consume and then regurgitate out and bring into your own life, and it sets you up for success, right? So one of the things that that's important for us to understand, and it's relevant to this day and age, is that there are two types of people in the world. The people that fall into 98% and the people that fall into the 2%. That is why yoga was only shown to the top 2%. Right now you're probably going to hear a lot about it. It's like called the universal laws. It's called The Secret. Have you guys ever seen the movie The Secret? It's about that. It's about the universe, the law of attraction. It's all about that, right? So the yoga philosophy talks to us about that. When we are aware that our mind, body, and spirit are all one, and that we're all working as one, then we actually can take it into a successful direction. Now let me give you an example. How many of you guys understand what 98% of the population is and 2%? Do you guys know the difference? Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Well, the difference is, for example, the elite and then the common people or ordinary people that are being influenced by the 2% and being, controlled in a way.
Yeah. Good. Very good. So what do you think? Do you think that all of us have the ability to be part of that 2%?
Yeah.
Yes. Would you guys agree with that? Yeah. But the thing is this. We are socially conditioned to be part of the 98%, especially, my friends, as I look at your beautiful faces, especially as boys and girls, as Latinas and Latinos, we are conditioned to be part of the 98%. Socially, we are conditioned. Let me give you an example. When you turn on the television, what do you see? Shows, right now, most recently we have some shows, but the majority of the shows have what? What do they have in them? What kinds of actors? What do the actors look like? Okay, well, we can't tell Jewish, but what do they look like? What are the physical characteristics? Tall, handsome. She's talking about guys. Right? But what about the women? What do the women look like, girls? Blonde. What else?
Blue eyes.
Blue eyes. What else?
Skinny.
Skinny. What else? Blonde, blue-eyed, skinny, and what else? Are they short? Are they tall?
Tall.
Tall. Right? And so we're conditioned to be thinking that way. But when we realize that we also have the potential within us to move forward, and yoga tells us we have the potential, we just have to be willing to do what it takes. You see, very interestingly enough, when we fall into that 98%, we are in Dukha, as it says up there. We are in self-suffering, we are in worry, we are in depression, we are in incorrect thinking and incorrect perceptions. By taking a look at what's in the media, you make a perception and you don't even know it. You say, well, I can't be a movie star because I'm not tall, I'm not blonde, I'm not blue-eyed, I'm not skinny, right? Am I correct? So we hook into this perception, and we don't even know that we've been indoctrinated to this perception all our lives. Because what we see is what we hook into and what we believe. And as long as we allow that to happen, we are part of the 98%. Right? Then there's the other determining factor. How many of us are willing to do what it takes to be at the top of the rung, to be at that top 2%? Any of us? Do we know what it takes? How many of you guys want an A in your classes? Okay. But how many of you forget to do homework and don't do everything to the best of your ability and more than that? You guys all do, so you guys all do A+ work.
Well, don't do. I thought you meant don't do.
Okay, don't do. All right. So is that true? Is that what you guys thought? How many of you guys want an A, but sometimes you allow life to get in the way, like my tío's party or Susanita's quince or whatever it is. And I got up too late, I'm not feeling good, I'm too tired, it's too cold. Does that sound familiar? But yet we want the A, yes?
Yes.
But we're not willing to do what it takes to get the A. And that means everything. That means consistency, that means discipline, that means you've got to have the attitude, right? That's why there's the difference. Because as soon as you're not willing to do what it takes, you fall back down into that 98%. Regardless of what your goal is. Right? Regardless of what your goal is, because we now come back into Dukha. Right? It's the disease of the mind. Because we begin to think, oh, well, guess what? The teacher doesn't care. So what? No, she won't even notice. Nah. Right? So yoga philosophy tells us that if our mind is in disease, it affects our spirit. And our spirit is really what moves us, and it affects us negatively. And if it does, it infects our body. And if it infects our body, guess what? Now comes in, oh, my foot hurts. I can't go because my foot hurts. I can't go because this. I can't go because I don't feel well. I can't go because of this. And we realize that, oh, now it's a physical manifestation. First it comes from the mind and it moves down in through our energy system. And now it infects our body. Right? And so we allow things to stop us. We allow life to live us instead of us living life. And that's what yoga tells you. You are in command. You are the driver. You've got two options. You either can allow yourself to be in the 98%, or you can change your thinking, change your life, change your energy, and move up to the 2%. Right? I'm going to challenge you guys this week with your homework. I want you to write down on top of that homework is due by the end of, let's say 2 weeks, okay? This homework is due, you got 2 weeks to do this homework. I'm going to challenge you to see what type of a person you are and how many people want an A, that they will have this homework done by tomorrow. Because if you have it done by tomorrow or even by today, You are now operating at the top 2%.